Okay, so today I'm going to be removing this panoramic roof from this 2003 SL500. There's no power to the car whatsoever, so if you have lost power and you need to open the roof in an emergency, you'll see how that happens. But I have also gone and stripped the trunk area, boot area, so I have no connections to the roof pump, so it will be easy for me to move this by hand. If you have the pump connected, and obviously you're going to have some pressurized system still, so it might be a little bit awkward to maneuver the roof. You might have to force it a bit, and to be honest, I don't know what that could do if you try and force hydraulic pressure back into the pump without correct solenoids opening, whatever. So as a warning, if you are going to do this, it is kind of advisable, I would say, to remove the hydraulic lines from the roof pump if you know which ones are which. In saying that though, I've never done it. I can't say whether that is true or not, but I'm taking a bit of a wild guess. So first of all, I'm going to get inside the vehicle and show you how to unlock the roof. So on the inside, you can see at the top of the trim, this little silver little cover. Now under there is a little Allen key lock. So if you gently remove this, it just pops out really easy, and it has one of these little, I don't know, stops it from falling, little plastic things on the end. And up here, can you see there, is a hex key lock, okay? And you need to put a Allen key or a hex socket in there and turn. So you need a 6mm hex key, and you are now going to get yourself comfortable, and you are going to insert it in here. Let it lock. Now, which way do you turn it? To be honest, I can't remember. So I'm going to try anti-clockwise. No, it's not working. So I'm going to try clockwise. There you go. So turn it clockwise. It's about a 90-degree turn until it stops. And you may have heard it, but what has happened is the roof has just slightly lifted itself up. And you can see there's a gap here from where the locks have disengaged. And from the outside, there has been a small gap, which you can now kind of see if you just gently shake it. Right, now I've unlocked the roof. Now it will move if I was to force it, but you have a problem with the tailgate. It is just open as normal there, but if you now try and open the boot and get it halfway, then there's going to be a clash. And if you know how these systems open, then you know that basically the boot kind of moves well out of the way, and normally the boot will be closed and these hinges here will open, and automatically the boot opens outwards. So what you've got to do is put it into service mode. Now to do that, I've stripped these carpets here, but you would normally have a carpet with a plastic catch here. Remove the plastic catch from both sides, and that reveals this hinge, flap, lock, whatever you want to call it, and it's this hex lock here and this one on this side. They need to be undone. Again, it's a 6mm hex key like I used to unlock the roof, so I'm going to now unlock these. Okay, so on this left side, I'm going to turn it anti-clockwise and watch the mechanism move. There you go, unlocks all the way. Turn it until it won't move any further. Then click to set it to be clockwise and put it in the other side, and unlock this one. Now mine has come up quite freely because I've had this up already. If yours doesn't, it will unlock, but you're going to have to put a bit of manual force, especially if you still have the pump connected. Now, If I start moving this tailgate upwards, then I'm going to get squirty hydraulic fluids everywhere. So it doesn't matter to me at the bottom, but be warned, if you've still got carpets down and what have you, then be warned that when you move this, there will be some release of hydraulic fluid. So how do you do this? Well, I'm going to grab this here, and because it's been up once already, it should be relatively straightforward. So I'm going to try and do it one-handed. It's quite heavy. Try again. Let's see if you can move the other side. There we go. And there it is. And it just lifts up like that. And now that is safely out of the way. So to the roof. Now, there is a hinge here. So what you need to do is put your hand under here and kind of lift upwards in this direction. If I can see if I can do it. Oh, it's heavy. And if I push up, you can see I've got a bit of a gap. And just by pulling that, I have the roof open. Okay, you can see how the rear window is moving in. I don't want to close it completely, because what I need to do now is get access to this trim, because I need to remove these trim pieces first, and then underneath I have a locking mechanism to remove, and then finally you've got a couple of bolts to remove. To be honest, this is quite a simple job. I thought it would be quite taxing removing one of these roofs, but it's actually quite okay. To actually fit one, you would just do everything in reverse, but I've never done one, and it's lining the thing up, which would be, well, a bit more of a, well, fiddly task. I wouldn't want to have it unlined and all the pressure on the pump pushing on it and causing damage, so that's something I don't fancy doing. Now, I've got them just let go, and the roof is kind of sitting in position, but do not expect it to be like that. If you start putting bits of forces on there, it may just simply come back on you and try and close, or it will try and open fully and disappear into the trunk. Of course, you've got to watch your fingers, okay? Look at these hinges here. It's going to be, you know, that moves, something gets caught in there, there's quite a bit of force involved, okay? So be very careful. These are Torx little screws, and as you can see there are 5 of them on there. So to remove the trim, you just undo them 5, and then the rest is held on by little plastic kind of pull, snap-on things at the rear. I don't know if you can see there. You can see you've got a plastic one there. There's about 4 or 5 going across, and then be very gentle getting these bits off, and not to snap or break anything. And also make sure you've got clean hands, because any kind of dirt and oil on this, it can be cleaned, but it's a nightmare to clean. It takes a while, and you know, this kind of vehicle, you're going to get oil or just grime and dirt. Look at it all, and it's so difficult to clean off. So just make sure your hands are really clean first. Okay, screws have been removed. Now I'm just going to have a go at just gently pulling on this, and you can see it's not that difficult. You've got a little seal here which you've got to get around there. So the seal needs to come off gently. Don't pull too hard on here, because it is very thin and can break quite easily, and if it does, these things are very difficult to find, and you're not going to find one easily to replace, and in the right color as well, so be careful. So now I'm going to go to the rear, and I'm going to just try and just jump off, and there you go. You can see if you pull it out towards, you can see how it goes. There's a bit of a incline to pull it back towards you and a bit down, and that comes off. And most of it is now loose. I've got to go over to the other side and do the same. Okay, and that's removed. Just a little wiggle, wobble of that, and you can see underneath where the mounting points are. Okay, so it's just them 5 on the back. So here we have the exposed inner workings of the roof. Now, the actual blind stays on. You can remove it, but I'm keeping it on. You can see there's a couple of just screws that you need to remove if you wanted to remove the blind, but I'm keeping this on, as I said. But what I do need to remove is this locking mechanism at the top. Okay, and that's basically held on by a couple of these Torx bolts, screws, all the way along. Undo them. It doesn't fall off your head. They do undo them, and then you've got to just literally just like give it a little prise off, and it will come off quite straightforward, and then it will just hang down. So once you take this locking mechanism off, you can see that the cables, there's various cables that go to this locking mechanism, especially on the left hand side over here. These cables will just keep this locking mechanism from hanging down. Okay, right, so I've removed these screws. Now you have to release this one here, which is holding on the blind, only so that you can release this lock, and then I'm going to attach it again, okay, to keep the blinds in place. Just loosely attach it. As you can see, it has decided to drop down somewhat, except this side. These two bits have fallen off a bit, but this one is still wedged in there, so I need to go over there and just gently remove that. You can see you've got plastic little lugs here all the way around, which are holding the cables. Now there are 3 types of cable. This is just a mechanical wire, this type of cable. This one is an electrical cable to the little micro switches, and then you've got hydraulic lines. Okay, the hydraulic lines and the electrical cables stay with this locking unit. You can remove these cables, just mechanical cables for the locks, which are connected through here. Okay, so push this down a bit. This is quite stubborn, this one. He's not wanting to move. I have loosened everything, but you kind of think, have I taken everything out? But I have. The question is why is it stuck? There. Okay, there you go. I hope you didn't see that. It was that pad. It was just a bit of friction between this pad and that. So give it a wiggle, and off it comes. And now I need to release this bolt here, because I don't want the blind coming off. So one-handed, difficult, and I've got a tie wrap there that is connected, which is a bit of a problem. So will it come off? Will it, won't it? No, I'm gonna have to take this off. Okay, that was easy. Where's that tie wrap gone? There we go, cable ties off, that comes off. I'm going to put the bolt back in there to hold that back in. And what's holding this up now are these plastic lugs. Now, I'm not going to pull it one-handed. Or will it work? Oh, it will go. There you go. It does work one-handed. Now, as I release these, then what I want is just this whole locking thing to be suspended in this area here and just be detached from the roof, because these hydraulic lines go down here into the C-pillar and then obviously towards the roof pump. So I just want to disconnect these lines from these clips as well, held in by clips there. Remove all this, and then the roof has one more stage to go before I can remove it. So it's off. The locking mechanism is just dangling down here. Now obviously get some covers, cover this in bubble wrap, whatever. I've still got the seats in here, but I've just gently laid it down here. Of course you could scratch the vinyl, whatever, so if you are doing this yourself, do make sure you adequately wrap this, and there is oil and grease all over it as well, so you don't want it getting all over the vinyl. Okay, so that's just a little precaution, I would do that. Now another tale is these locking systems have hydraulic lines, as I mentioned, and they can leak. Okay, there's pistons in, there's one there, big piston, and there's pistons, and that can just basically over time corrode, and they've been known to leak, and you might get some dripping from your head from above. Now if you have to remove and replace these hydraulic lines, then I've no idea how you do it. I don't think you can, to be honest. It's not a screw in, you have to replace this whole unit. You can see there, they look like they're just pressed in, and what happens is, I think what people just replace the whole thing. Now replacing this is not easy, okay? It's removing these lines, and that's for another video. So moving on to the roof. The roof now is just held on by 1, 2, 3, 4 of these Torx bolts on either side, and that is it. Okay, so before I go and loosen them off, I will make sure the roof is a bit lower down, okay, because I don't want the roof falling into the trunk. I want the roof to be quite low down here so that I can lift it. Now I'm not going to be able to do this one-handed, so I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to show you me lifting the roof off, but trust me, it is very easy once it is down. I'll show you once I've undone them all how easy it is to lift it. So it's off. The locking mechanism is just dangling down here. Now obviously get some covers, cover this in bubble wrap, whatever. I've still got the seats in here, but I've just gently laid it down here. Of course you could scratch the vinyl, whatever, so if you are doing this yourself, do make sure you adequately wrap this, and there is oil and grease all over it as well, so you don't want it getting all over the vinyl. Okay, so it's just a little precaution, I would do that. Now another tale is these locking systems have hydraulic lines, as I mentioned, and they can leak. Okay, there's pistons in, there's one there, big piston, and there's pistons, and that can just basically over time corrode, and they've been known to leak, and you might get some dripping from your head from above. Now if you have to remove and replace these hydraulic lines, then I've no idea how you do it. I don't think you can, to be honest. It's not a screw in, you have to replace this whole unit. You can see there, they look like they're just pressed in, and what happens is, I think what people just replace the whole thing. Now replacing this is not easy, okay? It's removing these lines, and that's for another video. So moving on to the roof. The roof now is just held on by 1, 2, 3, 4 of these Torx bolts on either side, and that is it. Okay, so before I go and loosen them off, I will make sure the roof is a bit lower down, okay, because I don't want the roof falling into the trunk. I want the roof to be quite low down here so that I can lift it. Now I'm not going to be able to do this one-handed, so I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to show you me lifting the roof off, but trust me, it is very easy once it is down. I'll show you once I've undone them all how easy it is to lift it. So I've basically removed the final two, the two furthest back, and left the two nearest on both sides. And now I'm just going to ease the roof down if I can, one-handed, just by pushing on it without getting my fingers stuck anywhere. Is it wanting to come? No. Oh, it has to be a two-handed job. It's not wanting to come, is it? Okay, it's a bit stubborn, so I'll do it off camera. Haha, right. The reason why it won't budge is here. You see that flap that normally will fold down, but because I've got no electric here, that flap is controlled by that little cable there, which is attached to some form of pulley thing, which is basically controlled by the ECU. So because I've got no power and I've just lifted it up, that is what's stopping the roof. In a way, it's a nice little safety feature, but now I can't put the roof down. Okay, so I'm either gonna have to try and force that down a little bit, or just take off the roof as it is. I have to decide. Okay, so I've got it closed. Now that little pad at the back was holding this roof up quite well, because as soon as I started to force it, this roof wanted to close on its own pretty quickly. And be careful, okay? I mean, obviously when you raise it, you'll know what have you. If you've still got it attached to the roof pump, who knows? I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just showing you what I'm doing, okay? So now I have the roof down. I'm going to release these final two bolts, so at least the roof is sat, and then I should be able to just lift it off. So all the bolts are removed, and if I just grab my hand and lift it, look how easy the roof is to lift off. Now it's a two-man job, this, so one man either side, or one person, sorry. Lift it up, carry it forward outside, put it on something nice and soft, because you don't want to crack, scratch, or what have you this roof. And now I own one of the most unique looking SLs you can find. Okay, a permanent soft, well, permanent removed hardtop, Targa, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so it wasn't that bad. I did it on my own. I had to get in and I put my head underneath it and I lifted it and I walked through all past my rubbish, and here it is. There's the final item lying on the pallet. I'm going to give it a little bit of a clean. Okay, but it's in really good condition. You've got the all the screen and the sunshade and everything, and the trim. And what I do is I offer this for conversions. So a lot of people like the panoramic roof. Not all vehicles come with a panoramic roof, so I can basically just do the reverse of what I've just done to fit it using the locks that you already have on your vehicle. Okay, hope you've enjoyed this video, and any comments, what have you, any tips would be good. Okay, so again, just as conclusion, be very careful when you remove this roof. Obviously the hydraulics, I had mine all disconnected and the roof was quite free and easy to move if that leather pad hadn't touched the rear glass. Make sure that everything is secure. You can use a big broomstick or something, I don't know, but yeah, okay, good luck.